Welcome back to Factory Sealed. It is October 16th, 2016. My name is Eric Peters, and joining me today, of course, Mr. Reliable himself, Daniel Curtis.
Thank you, Eric.
Yeah. Did you like that? Because I usually give you a really shitty intro.
You really do. Can you go back and do a shit one, please?
With us today is Jess Clarkson.
That was the shit intro.
Well, it's the shit intro for Dan because I just didn't introduce him.
Fair.
Who's Dan?
Who's that?
Jessica?
Good question. Who is Jess?
I forgot who Jess is.
I forgot who I was.
My God. I looked back through the last time you were here, Jess. Do you want to know when this was?
Yesterday.
To the day. 2 months.
To be fair,
That's some shit attendance.
that is some really shit attendance.
You nearly got expelled from the podcast.
I mean, that is like early Factory Sealed hiatus days.
Good thing we have reliable Dan.
Yeah.
Reliable Dan. We can count on him for so much.
Something that nobody has ever said to me. But
Well,
thank you.
there's a first time for everything. You really
You're reliable
changed.
to bring this stupid.
You really changed me with your video this morning.
Yeah, it was pretty saucy, wasn't it?
Oh man, I've never seen one that small.
Yeah, you usually have to get out the microscope.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I mean, it almost confused me for Tom and his smooth area.
I didn't even watch the video. I feel like I need to do that right
Don't, because the end is just a ghost attack.
now. That's my favorite part.
But in all seriousness, it's not about that.
It is. It is a
It is,
giant.
yes. I sent them a video this morning of my penis. That's exactly what happened. Factory Sealed WhatsApp group sent them all that, just so they could wake up happy.
I mean, I watched it and ate some yogurt and granola.
That is the actual Factory Sealed Unwrapped.
Yeah.
No, that's when Tom unwrapped his foreskin.
Oh my God. Speaking of Tom, he's not here today.
Oh, yeah.
He is potentially dying.
Oh yeah, he's got a severe case of backwards butthole.
I've heard that's the worst.
Could you imagine anything worse?
Not really.
I think that's what he
For
has.
president. Oh, political discussion.
Let's bring politics into a video game podcast.
You're a video game podcast.
Well, we're actually more of like a Foreskin Noises podcast now.
A lifestyle podcast.
That's what we are.
A lifestyle not to adhere to.
How not to be adults.
So, bringing it to games, did you know that if you upgrade to Android N, there's a cat collecting game built in?
Is that the 7.1 Nougat?
Yes.
Oh, I get my new phone on Thursday.
The Pixel?
Hell yeah, Pixel XL.
It's not that big.
It is as big as my Galaxy Note 5, which doesn't light on fire.
Smaller than my Android Nexus 6P.
Ooh,
I liked it better when phones were tiny.
look, your penis.
Yeah,
I was
but
going to say it made it look bigger.
No, I've got a Galaxy S5, which is 5 inches. And then I have the Note 5, which is 5.5. And I held both. I'm like, I would prefer the Note 5. So I bought the Pixel XL. Don't judge me.
I'm judging you.
it's shit.
Don't enforce your size stereotypes on me.
I
I
did.
mean, the bigger the curling iron, the better, you know?
Yeah. Do you always go for the smallest curling iron?
I switch it up sometimes.
Sometimes I grab a Sharpie.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
God almighty. We almost had a full show today. And then I don't know if the stupidity could have really...
I think a unification of all four of us again after this long might just disrupt the space-time continuum or something. You know what I mean?
Let's hope, against all hope, that Tom makes it.
I'm sure he'll be fine. He's hardy. He's from Ireland.
Well, he's not. He's not
Like
from
a
Ireland.
potato.
Tom's a potato. Oh, Tom, I'm sorry.
And the throwing under the bus begins.
He kind of, he is a potato.
Can we just clarify that I didn't really send a video of my penis this morning? I feel like that's important.
I'm going to neither confirm nor deny.
Me neither.
I mean,
But I will say that I got some snaps from Eric that were a little
saucy.
saucy.
I mean, well,
He shared a couple of those with us, yes.
well, those are the ones that could be shared.
Oh dear.
Jess made the mistake of making me install Snapchat, so I sent her a message saying, "What? These things are for dick pics, right?"
I think you said, like, if I get my first dick pic, I'm uninstalling it. So I sent you a dick pic.
It was a picture of her crotch, and she had drawn a dick on it. So then I proceeded to
Hey, I'm
send
gonna have to get this Snapchat thing if that's what happens.
I proceeded to send variations of dick pics therein. I stuck a curling iron through my crotch and took a picture of it.
That was the best one.
The setup for that, like, that was good.
I like the spectacular goldenness of the curling iron. That was what I enjoyed.
There was another one it's like a brush / curling iron that I was going to use, but I just went for the standard soft curling iron.
Oh my god, I remember those.
Yeah.
No one like uses those anymore.
Yeah.
They're damn difficult to insert.
I know.
They hurt. Yeah.
Ribbed for her pleasure.
It's ripped for her pleasure. Good lord. Yeah, there's your dick pic there, Jess, sure enough.
Kept it for the wank bank.
So if Jess had a penis, that's what it'd look like.
I've often wondered.
Orange and roughly drawn.
Just like Donald Trump's.
Yeah.
Oh! Well played.
Thank you.
Jess,
Yes.
how have you been? We missed you. We talked about you a lot on the show.
Oh. I didn't tell you about my cats, did I?
You have cats now, too?
I've always had my cats. Like Killy and Zoe.
Killy? Like, kill things? He likes to murder?
No, Kaylee.
Oh.
And Zoe.
You should change it to Killy.
I should.
I find it odd that you give your cats human names.
They're from Firefly.
What do you name your animals?
My dog's called Gypsy.
So my cats. I feel safe enough to share this story. That the first day I moved in, I opened the door and a freaking cat ran into my house.
So now
and
you
started
have another
rubbing up
one.
against the furniture like I live here now.
Where the hell do you live?
In Oshawa.
So I came home the other day and there was a moose looking in the refrigerator.
Basically. But this cat apparently is like the street cat. Like, his name is Martin, and he just goes to people's houses.
Why are all cats got human names in Canada? This is Dave.
This is Chuck. He's gonna come up and rub himself on you.
Yeah. But I feed him
Chuck's a
on
bit
my
bald,
porch
isn't he?
because I feel bad.
You
And
feed
so-
him, so you encourage his coming around.
Yeah, I buy wet food for him because he doesn't like dry food.
Why don't you just invite him into the house and make
He's
Martin
not your
yours?
cat, and he's a picky bastard.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like,
I'd put the
I think-
leftovers from my cat and be like, you're gonna eat this shit or die.
well, he's very sweet. So
That's a terrible
Then-
thing to say.
he's brought home
Somebody sent a test
another-
around here.
So he brought this little tabby along with him one time.
Oh
and
my
so
god,
I
you're
gave
turning
her
into a
food.
cat lady!
Wait for it. And then there's a black and white cat that showed up too.
Oh my goodness!
You know what happened is you moved in and they had the cat tribunal had a meeting and they go, "This is the one."
And
She's an easy target.
so my friends came over the other day, and Martin was outside, and I was petting him, and I was wearing cat slippers.
Hang on, is Martin a guy? I'm confused.
No, Martin's a cat. And so I was feeding him food on my porch with cat slippers on, and my friends show up. I'm like, oh, sorry. I'm like, this is Martin. He's not my cat. Blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, oh my God.
Did they
like,
turn around and leave?
Well, my friend Ryan was like, Jessica, like, you're a crazy cat lady. He's like, you're not too far gone yet. Like, at least you don't have a rocking chair or something. There's a rocking chair.
Yeah, but you knit.
I have one.
You feed stray cats.
I have a rocking chair.
You have cat slippers.
You have
I have
cat
cat
slippers.
You live alone.
And now there's a fourth cat who comes by.
Do you
I just
talk
think
to
there's no
them?
point having a communal cat meeting, like down an alleyway somewhere, just targeting you.
Yeah.
Martin's sitting on a dustbin and he goes, Nigel, Bob, Dave. There's a lady who's just moved in who gives out food.
Our days of struggle are over. She's the one.
She's a sucker.
Converge upon her domicile forthwith.
It's so funny.
You're going to wake up one day and there'll just be cats everywhere.
Jess is going to go,
Well,
I'm in
figured-
There'll be
heaven.
no floor left.
If I die, then at least my body won't rot or something, and all the cats would eat it. And
Have you seen those
cat
episodes of Hoarders where they go in and like, well, I just couldn't get rid of the kitties? And they have like 400 of them and they're living in the walls, just shitting everywhere? That's you.
I bet that house smells delightful.
You let
Yeah.
Martin into your house, and he rubbed himself on his furniture, so he's got all like this sewage, garbage, piss water all over him. Just rubbing it all up on your couch. How do you know he
Give
didn't?
your nice, clean cat's fleas.
he
And
shit in my house too.
He shit in your house.
I had electrical work done, and the electricians locked him in my house. So then he shat in my house.
God, Jess. Jess, I can't even help you right now. you're just beyond help.
you are not the same person we started this show with. We've
My life is
seen.
too far
You're
gone.
just descending into a whirlpool of horribleness right now.
At least you have a boyfriend, though.
Shut up!
Miss, I don't want to date anybody has a boyfriend.
I called him my boyfriend accidentally.
He doesn't listen to the show, does he?
How do you accidentally call someone your
he's going
boyfriend?
to.
Hi, Jess's new boyfriend.
You have an inside
don't
look into
know.
what you're dating, who you're dating. Sorry,
Pardon?
nothing.
What I'm doing.
I referred to you as what instead of who.
So is it work the other way around in Canada? Are meals called like Mr. Tiddles and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Mr. Tiddles.
Weird.
Mr. Moobs.
Mr. Boobs?
Yeah, Mr. Moobs. So, Jess, you were telling us a story on...
Eric's nickname.
Well, duh. I'm back, Moobs. You were telling us a story before the show started. Do you want to finish that?
Yeah, but I can't remember at what part was I.
It had to do with consent.
Oh yeah, okay. So,
So,
okay, I could share some like online dating is a very interesting experience.
well,
So-
yeah. Tinder is just a GPS sex locator.
I didn't like Tinder. I felt like it was too much stress to judge someone right away. And then I got Bumble, and then I started judging people right away. But
Oh my god, what is this?
I
We
don't
will
know
get to
what's
video
going on
games at
anymore.
some point, but we've missed Jess for 2 months. We have to hear some of this.
So Bumble was by the co-founder of Tinder, but the fee it's the woman has to message the male first within 24 hours or else
Feminism.
it goes away. But it's nice because then you actually have to talk to the person or else your match disappears. But did I tell you about my astrophysicist who messaged me?
Oh dear, was it Stephen Hawking?
No.
Was
Close.
it what's it, DeGrasse Tyson? Neil deGrasse Tyson?
No, this guy is he's an up-and-coming astrophysicist.
Did he send a picture of his dick in front of space?
It's so big. I'm going to break your
This is
space-time
infinite,
continuum.
just like my dick.
No, this guy was telling me that he works nights. He is a stalker at a grocery store,
So he's
stocking
not
shelf.
really an astrophysicist.
Yeah, so I don't think an
he is.
astrophysicist bags groceries at the local Piggly Wiggly.
But
That's like us saying we are international podcast superstars.
Yeah.
he has a
In
patent.
reality, we are a bunch of numpties who sit in rooms on a Sunday.
He has a
talking
hat
shit.
that says, I like science.
No, he apparently has a patent on an invention, which he has a prototype for, which is a revolutionary fitness product. And he's doing an experiment that will produce documents and demonstration to the Canadian Space Agency regarding a modification of the magnet. And he is the guy that discovers how to mechanically produce gravity and materials that go on to change the level of modernization of society. So
He sounds like a real catch.
I've fallen really hard for him. He
Oh, wait, is this your
hasn't gone to
boyfriend?
school. No.
Oh.
I was like, oh, really? Like, where'd you go to school? Oh, what lab are you with? And I was seeing how far down the rabbit hole he would go. And then he said, I didn't go to grad school. I have a unique education and life experience. Your assumptions lead me to lead me to believe that we're not going to match. And said no.
So he's not really who he says he is.
No.
An
I'm sorry.
astrophysicist
This guy sounds like a tool.
who didn't
Who
even
hasn't
go to
gone
grad school
Correct.
and works at a grocery store.
Correct. At nights.
Yeah, he is.
Sounds like a freak.
Yeah.
So I had someone send me model pictures of himself, and
Is it
not
though? Is it though?
like he stole them from the internet.
Hurry up and get to this other story. I'm dying to know how it
And then
ends.
One guy who kept asking me if I would ever be with a really short guy, and whether I would spoon with a short guy, and it was an intense conversation regarding his height.
You should
But-
just like
I
go to a.
imagine online dating for women is literally the worst thing in the world.
It's kind of fun though, because you can like see how far people will go.
I would totally troll people.
It's got to be like standing in an open field and just having hot dogs thrown at you.
Yeah. You get some really creepy messages.
Anyway, onto your boyfriend.
Boyfriend, not a boyfriend.
You called him your boyfriend.
I called him my boyfriend.
Okay.
But I was trying to weed out the creeps from online dating. And so I asked them questions. The first question was, would you call yourself a feminist? And that eliminated a lot of individuals. And then I asked them if they were religious,
And the rest are liars.
because I'm judgmental. And then I asked that this guy was the only guy who made it this far, if you like dogs as well. And then
I like how that comes after. Are you a feminist? Do you like religion? Oh, do you like dogs?
yes, because the asshole ex didn't. And then the last question was define consent. How do you define consent?
Now, is this a digital?
Expect 1,000 words on this, or what?
Yeah, I wanted an essay. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going out with some weirdo. Like, there's a lot of questions that you answer on OkCupid, and one of them is it ever okay to have sex with your partner if they're asleep? And people say yes all the time.
Now, did this exchange take place digitally, or was this like on your first date sitting across from him with a glass of wine, or like as you're crawling into the place?
Digitally.
Okay. So that's not as bad. I was picturing it was like, Okay, wait, stop. Define consent. Okay, you're fine. Let's go. Pass me the curling iron.
Oh,
No.
Jess, by the way, before we get on to video games, you also need to do your Russian accent, because we've been waiting for weeks.
Driver.
Shit.
You've had plenty of time to practice.
I know.
I don't know what to say, though.
Driver.
Driver.
Driver. Not good. I tried.
Give us a...
Say driv to the shops.
What?
Driv to the
Driv.
shops.
Driv to the shops.
Well, you can't laugh halfway through because Russians don't laugh.
In Soviet Russia, curling iron do you.
Perfect.
And I'm done.
Bravo. Well done.
Now, this is actually a video game podcast.
Really?
It is, funnily enough.
It is.
I thought we switched to lifestyle.
We just...
A dating podcast.
We get lost and need a little bit of guidance.
Well, we nearly talked about video games before with the whole video dick incident, but...
And cat collecting game.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to actually get into video games too soon, so I just made it sound like you sent us a dick video. So
Yeah, in reality, I sent him a video which you requested several weeks ago, which me in front of the credits to Silent Hill 2.
I've never been more proud of you.
Thank you.
Actually, I've just never been proud of you, but now I am.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Quite an accomplishment, Mr. Curtis.
I honestly am quite impressed with myself. It's one of my finest gaming achievements to date.
Because you actively fought playing that game. Like, nope, not going to do it.
I know, because I just thought it would be terrifying, but in reality, it's not as bad as I thought.
It's still a scary game.
Yeah, it's like you said before, it's unnerving, but we will get into
think-
the meat and potatoes of it on the Silent Hill 2 show.
We'll get into the bangers and mash of it in a few weeks.
But the only reason you finished it was because you didn't want to have to pay for the game.
I actually said to Eric earlier that he doesn't have to pay me because I enjoyed it.
Oh.
Yeah,
So-
that was a good deal.
And plus
Everybody
he won't
wins.
actually send me the money because he's cheap. But, you know.
Well, I can't... I'm broke now. I bought a bunch of shelves to store all my gaming shit.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive.
Oh, God. That was an undertaking and a half. Holy cow.
So, I take none of the consoles are actually plugged in, though.
No, that's just a storage shelf for them.
Aww.
I have all the cables in a different bin. So I've had all of these consoles in a bin or 3 for the past few years, and I just finally wanted to get them out and on display somewhere. So I bought this huge cube shelf from IKEA, which took forever to put together.
I can imagine. I can't even build a chest of drawers from IKEA without it taking forever, so...
I didn't lose a piece. I didn't break anything, so that's an achievement. But I probably should have gotten the size bigger because I still didn't have enough room to put everything.
You should just get another one.
They're not cheap. That thing was like $130.
What?
Yeah. The next one up was $200.
I didn't even pay that for my sudden coffee table from IKEA. Not coffee table, the dining table.
Good lord. Does it even
Cheaper
hold all
over-
your
must be
food?
cheaper over here.
Well, so I put one of each of my consoles in each cube, and I've actually reshuffled it a little bit to kind of put the 2 Super Nintendos together, because I have 2 different models, the normal and then the slim line. I did the same with the PlayStation 1s, PS2s, kind of just bunch things together, because I had to put all my strategy guides on there. Jesus, I have a lot of strategy guides.
You really do. I didn't realize you had Final Fantasy figurines as well.
Yeah, I've got the Advent Children ones. The Cloud on his Fenrir is probably my favorite one that I have.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You're not taking it out of the box.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, what are you guys' thoughts on taking things like that out of the box? I don't ever plan on reselling it, ever.
Well, I think if you're not reselling it, take it out because it looks better out of the box.
Do you throw the box away then?
I say that, but I've still got all the boxes for those little pop figures that I collect. So,
Because I took the Final Fantasy figurines that I have down below. I have the Cloud and Sephiroth from Advent Children. I've taken them out of the box, and then I have a Squall that I haven't.
I would take them out, Eric. If you're not seriously going to ever sell them, what is the point of keeping it in the box?
I don't know.
Unless the box looks awesome.
Which it doesn't.
So take it out.
Oh, God.
I mean, you spent
Lick
this
it,
money
and
on
then
this
it's
cool-ass
yours.
figure. And would you keep it in the box? As long as it's not going to be damaged, then it should be fine.
Yeah, I used to have all the Final Fantasy X figurines, like the really big ones. Orin, Titus, and Kamari, and those have just gotten broken over the years from moving.
I used to have Cypher and Squall figures, which I don't know what happened.
Were they the actual Play Arts ones?
No. My parents just got them for Christmas for me when Final Fantasy VIII came out.
Ew. You were asking me if those were the Rob Duenas prints, and yes, they are.
Yes, they're very
His
nice.
Final Fantasy 9 and 7 prints.
I like them a lot.
I need to get the... He sent me the originals for the Final Fantasy 7 collection, and I need to get those framed.
You do.
I do.
You do.
They have like, in for cupboards, they have like a little level, like a little mini shelf that you can just stack plates and stuff on.
Oh.
If you get those, then you can make your consoles like 2 or 3 high.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a NES, Eric?
I do. It's in the top left corner. I've got 3 of them.
Speaking of NESs... See, that's a beautiful segue.
Well done.
Thank you. Yeah. We're going to do a competition, guys.
Oh, yeah!
Shit.
I forgot about that, and you even reminded me to remind you.
I know.
I got sidetracked with all this shit from Jess.
I set you up with the segue. I was expecting you to jump right on it, but no.
Well, I just thought you were thick and didn't know what a Nintendo looked like because all you ever jerked off to is the Genesis.
That was the better console.
Which I actually have. You can kind of see it in that bottom left corner with the 32X atop it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a waste of money.
Did you see Dan's question?
No. I've got it. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Contest.
Yes. Eric, go on, you can do it. You like to speak.
This is your contest.
It's also your contest. It's everybody's contest.
Okay, so we're going to be giving away one of the mini Nintendos
Yeah, boy.
that come out next month. Now, there's some rules.
Oh.
We're going to do
tell us
just
these rules.
a standard like-share contest, which means more people can join. However, for our dedicated listeners, we have ways to earn extra entries.
We'll have to give away extra entries for Patreon, of course.
Oh, of course, if you're a Patreon, you'll get an extra entry per $1 that you donate. But
Yes.
if you want to get extra ones, we're going to host a side contest.
And by the way, he has been asking me to do this for about a year.
Oh, I've been dying to do this. We're going to do a straddling contest. So if you want extra entries... What were you going to say, Dan?
I was going to say we should set some ground rules here.
Here's some ground rules. Your clothes must be on.
Yep.
If you
Fine
would
consent.
define consent in your caption. If you would like...
Straddle a cat called Martin, that would be even better. I mean,
If you would like 5 extra entries, you can straddle anything. If you would like 10 extra entries, you can straddle some sort of inanimate animal object. If you would like 15 extra entries, you can straddle a national monument.
it's of course important to have the arm up in the air.
Oh, yeah.
The lean back.
If you want to get an idea of what these pictures should look like, go to factory-seal.com, click on Meet the Crew. You'll see a picture of me atop a giant deer. Tom is straddling the Grand Canyon, and Dan is rogering a kangaroo of sorts.
Yes.
Now, ground rules.
Jessica's stuff.
Yeah, Jess just doesn't straddle things. Feet must be off the ground.
This is getting
Both
very
feet?
specific.
I'm just making fun of you, Dan, because your foot's still on the ground.
All right.
But Dan is right. You do have to have one arm up in the air like you're riding a bull.
I can't wait for these.
Yeah. You can email them to us. You can post them on our Facebook community page. However you want to get them to us, we'll give you extra entries for it. But otherwise, just watch out for the contest. You can like, share, retweet it for entries. But this will be the way that you win.
And who doesn't want a mini NES?
Yeah. It's going to be sweet.
It's going to be sweet. So we will be giving that away in probably November.
Yeah.
Providing, of course, we can get our hands on one.
I don't think they'll be that hard to get a hold of.
Probably not.
No. Boy, that's the most information we've had at the first half of the show.
I know.
Good Lord.
Eric, I wanted to talk to you actually about, because you decided this week not to buy PSVR, didn't you?
I did. That was a tough decision.
Changed your mind because you were really looking forward to this.
To be honest, the first series of reviews came out about a week beforehand. And, well, they said this is cool. The general consensus was, if you've played the Vive, you're probably not going to like this, because the Vive bills itself as a full room scale VR, whereas the Oculus in its current form, and then the PSVR and just how it's going to be, is more of a stationary type of VR. And I've played a lot of the Vive, and that's the type of VR that I want.
Yeah, this is why I've always had the issue with VR. Like, if you just sat there, fair enough, you can look round, but there's going to be some disconnect between the movement.
Yeah, I mean, it was really cool from what I played. Eve Valkyrie was really awesome. Battle Tanks, or whatever the hell it was called, was okay. But what really sucked me into the VR on the Vive was being able to walk around the room in a full 360-degree space and have it track. And
That's cool.
One of the
That is what it should be like.
One of the
But
reviewers
obviously it's not
specifically
feasible.
addressed that with the PSVR and said, the minute you turn around, it stops tracking you. So if your controller, or your body gets in the way of your controller seeing the camera, it disconnects it. Because the Vive has two sensors in opposite corners, one in the front right and one in the back left, or vice versa. So it can track you in full 360. The PSVR just tracks you in 180.
So you're always going to have that disconnect between actually being fully absorbed in the world, and aren't you?
Yeah, and the other thing too was, if you think about it, they're utilizing 6-plus-year-old technology to power this brand new technology. The Move controllers came out, 2010?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And they're using the same. I mean, the technology in the PlayStation Eye really isn't that much more advanced than it was in earlier renditions of it. So they're utilizing old technology to power the VR, and it does have its limitations. One of the issues that people were reporting was that even if you're holding your controller perfectly still, like in Batman or Job Simulator, the hand on the screen is still shaking and jittering and moving around. So it's not 100% precise tracking.
I imagine it's better with the Move than using the DualShock.
Well, there's two different types of games. Certain games you have to use the Move controllers. Other games you have to use the controller.
All right.
It's not like you can pick what you want.
I mean, I watched some footage of Batman Arkham VR, and obviously, rather than having the movement, you kind of just teleport from place to place.
Yeah, it's a stationary adventure. You just kind of stand there and look around and grab things.
It would be much better if you could have that kind of actual being able to move around like you can with the others, I guess.
Well, I've played a pretty immersive dungeon crawling RPG style VR game on the Vive, And to move, you take your controller and point it at the ground somewhere ahead of you and press a button, and it teleports you to that area. I don't think they've figured out a decent way to do walking around without utilizing infinite amounts of space.
Have you ever seen those 360-degree treadmills you can get?
Yeah, the omnidirectional.
Yeah, those are pretty crazy.
I was really looking forward to stuff like Drive Club, Eve Valkyrie, but at the end of the day, what it boiled down to was Sony has a pretty bad habit of dropping support for their peripherals quite quickly. I mean, look at the PSP, the PSP Go, the PS Vita, the Move, the iCamera never really had anything utilize it.
I think the only Move games that I've played are the dancing ones, and that's it.
I don't think I ever played a Move game.
I played through Heavy Rain with the Move controllers.
Oh, did you?
Ugh.
It was highly immersive.
And some of Dungeon Hunter Alliance.
Yes. Wishy woo!
Woo, Flugelhorst.
You didn't play that pet game?
I didn't play that pet game.
Yeah,
it is weird how they've brought back that technology. Like I've got one of them just sitting in my bedroom. Like I haven't used it for years.
The Move?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in boxes in my basement. Like
the best thing about the Move was the squishy ball at the end.
Because even their sports games, like, I don't know, I think we just did it so much better.
Yeah, they just didn't put the effort in. I mean, I was really excited for a game coming out called Sorcery, but it was crap in the end.
You sure you didn't want that Spellbound book where you read a book and wiggle your wand around?
I wanted that!
God, I remember sitting at the E3 conference when they started showing that off, and it was just awful.
I remember when
I think that was
Peter Molyneux was showing Milo for the Kinect.
Milo?
Remember Milo?
No.
It was basically when they were first showing off Kinect when it was called Project Natal, and it was basically like a interactive thing with a child, and he was kind of pretending to give him things and stuff, but it was revealed in about 3 years later that it was completely fake.
Oh, yeah. Well, leave it to Molyneux to overhype something.
Well, I mean, Kinect has been a massive flop as well. I mean, they tried to really revive it on the Xbox One, but now you can buy bundles where it isn't even included. So,
well, they pretty much dropped support for it.
I know.
I think it's because it wasn't fundamental. Like with Wii, that was your controller. Like there's not another option.
I mean, Kinect was pretty fun. I had one, but again, it was just didn't get the support. And if you didn't have a room like a cavern, it worked terribly.
Well, they had some really cool technology with it at E3 when they were showing off the one for the Xbox One, where it was shooting out these dots and mapping every available inch in your room, and it was cool. But I think at the end of the day, people just want to sit on a couch with a controller and play a video game.
I know. I think these gimmick things they're fun for a while, but you do just like. I mean, I got the new Guitar Hero last year. I haven't played it very much.
I think I've played 10 songs total.
Yeah, I know. I did enjoy it. It's just, and I do kind of just enjoy having to sit and play it.
One of my friends has the Vive, and I go over there and play it, but I've never wanted to do a 4-hour gaming session inside of a VR headset. I just don't think I want to. Imagine
playing Call of Duty, right? And being on one of those omnidirectional treadmills and just running everywhere.
I mean, you'd be in great shape.
You'd be knackered.
That would be pretty good.
It was a tough decision, but I think it was the right decision in the end. If for some reason it becomes this massive success and everyone's like, this is the fundamental VR experience, it's like, okay, then I'll probably look at getting it. But
it'll probably go down in price anyway. Apparently Sony's selling them at a profit already, so...
Yeah. Well, they're utilizing technology that they probably just already had the ability to create super cheap. I mean, those Move controllers can't cost very much, and they're selling a 2-pack of them for $60.
Well, they probably had them all in a warehouse somewhere.
Just threw some new batteries in them.
Yeah.
Dug them out of the desert.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You should go buy Rise of the Tomb Raider instead.
No, I see. That's the thing. I've decided I'm not going to, because we've got a lot of big games to play coming up. We've got Silent Hill, we've got Vice City, and then before you know it, Final Fantasy 15 will be here.
Oh, yeah.
So I guarantee there's going to be a Tomb Raider discount for Black Friday.
Honestly, it's really good, though.
Oh, I'm not disputing the fact that it's amazing. What's that?
What, Jess?
I might be in America on Thanksgiving and go Black Friday shopping.
What part of America?
Baston.
Your house.
Baston?
Baston.
Boston, Massachusetts.
That's my khaki.
Park the car and have a yad.
You going down to New Orleans?
Nolans. So, Daniel.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I would like you to tell me what you think truly of Link to the Past. Because...
Shite.
Say that again?
Shite.
I would like you to say Link to the Past is...
Link to the Past is shite.
Okay.
There you go.
It is on record. We're finishing... we are finishing up our Link to the Past coverage. I don't even actually think we're going to finish it. Because...
You finished it, haven't you?
Did you not see my tweets?
No, I don't look at your tweets.
No one pays attention
Well,
to
you look at my tweets, not my teats.
I do. I like to look at your teats.
Oh, it's the other way around. I always get
yes.
that mixed up.
You do. It's an important thing to distinguish between, though.
So last week, we kind of covered the first half-ish of the game with the understanding that we would finish it.
Trying to listen to Eric's robotic voice.
Well, yeah, I think I did a good job of masking that.
Ish.
And then everybody just stopped playing it.
Because
Except
we were
for me.
behind schedule.
Yeah, and then Tomb Raider came out, and I wanted to finish Silent Hill, so...
I was
You
playing
finished
Overwatch.
Silent Hill 2 full weeks ahead of time.
I know. I was determined.
Good Lord. So now we have a week gap between... Anyway, when we left off, you hadn't even made it to the Dark World.
I had not.
I was halfway through the Dark World. Jess, did you even bother playing any of this?
Yes, I did. And we played it not too long ago. Also.
Not for the show.
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
That was Minish Cap, Jess.
Yeah, we have never played Link to the Past for the show.
Yes, we have.
There's no way.
It was certainly before I joined, so it was quite a while ago.
Yeah, it was.
No. I just did a search. We have never played this for the show.
I swear to God we have.
I disagree. We have played Majora's Mask, Minish
Yes.
Cap, Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of Zeldas.
We did.
Zelda 2, Link's Awakening. Hold on. I'm looking through. I just found Jess's Rob Ford picture. Yeah, we talked about Link Between Worlds. We've never played. This goes all the way back to episode 29. Aaron and I talked about Link Between Worlds. We've never played Link to the Past.
Well, I did.
Oh, good for you.
Recently-ish.
So I made it to the last room before the final boss and died and said, fuck this. I'm not going through that tower again.
This is my issue with the game. I touched upon this last week. This is why I consider it to be shite. Because you just die constantly.
Oh, yeah. It is insane how unfair this game can be.
I mean, there's one enemy in the Dark World who throws bombs at you. If you walk into him by accident, he takes off about 7 hearts.
Well, you probably, to be fair, did a shit job at collecting heart pieces. I was almost full by the end of the game. I think I was missing
not at the
2
end
hearts.
of the game. So, there's no direction of where to go most of the time as well. So.
Oh, didums.
I honestly, right, I was playing it last night. I wanted to get through it, and I'm up to the Skull Woods in the Dark World, right, which is Dungeon 3. And the Skull Woods, you have to go in and out of dungeons. If you die in the dungeon, it keeps you in the dungeon. If you die out of the dungeon, it takes you back to the other side of the map, which you then have to navigate back to the woods to go back into the dungeon.
Well, you're only outside for like 20 seconds going between rooms. So why would you die
Because
outside?
the collision, like I said last week, when the collision detection sometimes with the enemies is a bit off. So they kept hitting me.
See,
I feel like that's a lot of excuses.
Yeah. I hear a lot of whining.
I just didn't have a fun time. Sorry.
No, it does get towards the end of the Dark World, it does get a little bit more difficult. Ice Palace and Misery Mire are two really difficult dungeons, and you can kind of do them in any order. If you actually do Misery Mire first, it makes Ice Palace a little bit easier due to the item that you get. But what bothered me, and I think we've become spoiled with current Zelda games and their layout and how fine-tuned they are, that going back to this, it's still great, but you can see how the series has progressed since then. Some of the later dungeons, when you get the boss key, you find the big treasure chest. It's not an item that really helps you in any capacity continue through the rest of the dungeon. Like a lot of the earlier ones, okay, here's your hook shot. You need the hook shot to get past this puzzle, and then the hook shot helps beat the boss. Later, they just give you different colored tunics and just other items that they help you, but they're not 100% necessary. And the dungeons become these big, sprawling levels that have rooms that you don't need to go into at all.
The Ice Palace is huge,
that
wasn't
sounds
it?
annoying.
Which one?
The Ice Palace? Like, that's where you have to drop between the floors?
I think so. Yeah. Yep. That one is really, really difficult. Not as hard as Ganon's Tower. Because by this point I had all 4 of the bottles, and I would go fairy hunting, pick up all the fairies, make my way to the top of the tower, using all of my fairies in the process, and then die.
There's one room that had fairies in it, though, wasn't there? Like, at the beginning
of the tower?
Yeah.
Well, what sucks is that the fairies don't revive you all the way, so the best bet is to go back to the witch and purchase the red potion for 120 rupees each. So then you have to sit and do rupee farming.
Oh.
Or go to the bow mini game, which just gives you a ridiculous amount of rupees.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm kind of with Dan on this. I don't think it's shit. I think it's a fantastic game. I just don't think it's as good as some of the more modern top-down Zeldas.
Well, maybe I'm being a bit harsh, Eric, but I just find it very, very frustrating.
It is very frustrating, and maybe since you never played it as a kid, you don't have that nostalgia factor to kind of forgive some of its shortcomings.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad game. Like, the level design and stuff's pretty good, but I can't get past the frustrated dying because it just happens over and over again.
There are some levels.
I don't feel it's like through fault of my actions. It's more kind of unfair game design.
There are some floors in the later levels that I think specifically Ganon's Tower. There's some rooms that if you haven't picked up, actually no, I think you have to have the ether coin by this point. But if you don't know to use the ether coin in this room, they're just black rooms with enemies walking out in the abyss, and you have to find your way through these invisible floors. And then I remembered, you can cast the ether spell, which kind of gives you a brief glimpse of where the floor is. And just little things like that make it so difficult that it actually, towards the end, I was trying to finish it up last night, and I just got so annoyed with it. Like, this just isn't fun.
No. But I think it was like very puzzly oriented, which was nice. Like, it wasn't, because some of the games you can just kind of pop out and not really have to think, but you actually had to think about what to use and what to do, and I like that. But
to an extent, but some of them aren't obvious.
No, they're not.
Like, there's to get to the Skull Woods, you have to get across a lake using the hook shot from a certain section, but you can't actually see the skulls on the other side, which you have to hook shot to.
Yeah, I mean...
And I was like, I spent about half an hour last night trying to figure out how to get over there.
Oh, so you got to the part in the game where I had to call the Nintendo helpline. So when you were going to the Dark Palace... Did you?
Yeah, I'm further than that.
Yeah. So when you had to go through the hedge maze, you remember that?
God, they must have thought you were an absolute idiot.
Oh God, I can't. I was probably the talk of the break room. They probably had the transcripts up with pictures like, this guy is thick.
I feel like those kind of things might have had that a lot, though.
No, there's a giant arrow pointing where you need to go. A giant arrow on the ground saying, go in here. And 6-year-old Eric couldn't figure that out.
I wonder what it was like to work in one of those places.
There was an article I read recently that was written by people who worked there, and they loved it.
Imagine, surely they give you the game to play through.
I don't.
Because otherwise, how would you know?
Here is the article I read. You'll have to give it a read.
Thank you. Just give me 2 minutes.
Just glance over it.
What?
They were called Nintendo Play Counselors. Oh, and they had like dating profiles.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Do they like
Get stuck in, Jess.
And they were, oh my God. I'm a game
Define
counselor.
consent in a second.
Oh, look at that guy in the bottom left. Steve White, sweet mustache. Wow.
Where? Oh.
I like how some of these people, under their hobbies, it's not video games. Only one of the guys has video games as his hobby. Yeah, I mean, that's... Oh, man, and then scroll down to see Sean Bloom. That is some hair.
It's super hair.
And he finished Link 2, The Adventure of Link, with one man.
With one what?
One man.
What's a man?
I guess one life?
Why do you say a man?
I don't. Sean Bloom says one man.
Well, he's a goon.
Yeah. Jess, have you
say a guy, so you're not much better.
Have you beaten Link to the Past before?
Yes. The last time.
What's your take on it?
On Jessica.
Sorry.
Jessica?
Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Unfortunately, we can.
Jessica, are you there?
What? Pardon?
Hello?
Want me to talk like this the whole time?
Yes, please.
I liked it. It was definitely harder, I think. I needed to go, if I remember correctly, I had to go back and find the jars because it was just a little bit challenging, but
did you play this as a kid though?
No. I'm just not a little bitch.
Just not a bitch, yeah. I like that.
Thank you, Jess.
I don't know. I feel like we're going to get some negative feedback from not liking this game as much as we should. I feel like it is a very important game in the pantheon.
Yeah, I can see why a lot of people like it, but it's just... I mean, I love a lot of the Zeldas, but this
Don't
one
direct the
just
feedback
didn't
at
tickle my
me.
fancy.
I liked it.
Well, hold on. Let's look at where this game fell in terms of all the other Zelda games. We had come from the original Zelda, which was great, but arguably very difficult. And then they took a complete left turn into Adventure of Link, which some people like, most people hate. It's definitely not a Zelda game. This game brought us into what is modern Zelda and introduced a lot of the items that we see carried forward, a lot of the game elements that have carried forward. Sure, it's not perfect.
But we have all played Link Between Worlds recently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is this, not the exact same map, but pretty similar.
Yes.
Yeah, but I've really enjoyed Link Between Worlds.
Oh yeah.
It didn't have that kind of relentless difficulty that this does.
No, and I think they've polished that in modern Zelda games. Link's Awakening, I think, is difficult, but it's not unfair. There are some aspects of this game, it's like, this is just unfair.
Yeah, well, we've talked about this before, Eric. I hate difficulty where it's unfair just for the sake of being unfair. If it's difficult, I want a challenge.
Yeah,
I don't
and
just want to die just for the hell of it.
some of the rooms later in this game, it's like, let's throw spikes here and enemies, and oh, let's have some of the eyeball laser guys, and then let's have some of the fire pots that shoot at you. Oh, by the way, the whole floor is a fucking treadmill.
Yeah, that's fun.
So I went through 2 or 3 fairies in one room trying to get up to the last guy. And they're going to be people like, oh, you guys just suck at this. Well, yeah, probably.
I probably do just suck at this, but I tried.
The
You did
effort was
try.
there.
You did try.
I cried.
There's one puzzle
What do you want from me?
in the Turtle Rock dungeon that I hated. You hop on this motorized platform. You have to have that special cane that creates a platform. And then there are these spinning fireballs, and you have to navigate your way around and light all of these pots. But when you get to each of the intersections, you can press a direction and move that way, but not every intersection is one that you can turn at. And then once you get them all lit, a door opens, and you have a certain amount of time to get back to where that door is, but you have to know the path with where the intersections are that you can actually turn on. It was a bitch. I hated that. That was the one puzzle that sticks out in my mind. Like, I hate this. But you wouldn't know because you didn't make it
shit.
that far.
Sorry.
Shots
I
fired.
got up to Skullwoods. Take it.
I didn't have too much difficulty with any of the bosses except for the boss on Turtle Rock. It is, Jess, you might remember this. It's the giant rock tortoise that has the fire and the ice heads that stick out of each side.
I remember the giant tortoise. Maybe.
Well, you have to shoot. You have to use your ice cane and your fire cane to damage each side. And again, way up where the heads are, they've put spikes along the wall. So if you get too close to the wall, you get hit. And if they bump you, you get hit from them and then pushed into the spikes and die. I think that boss probably took me 5 or 6 tries before I finally got him.
I think I mentioned it last week. I didn't like the boss where it was a worm and you were on a really narrow platform. Where it could kind of move very quickly and you had to hit the end of its tail. It was just
Well, that's a pretty
frustrating.
standard boss. I mean, that was in Link's Awakening. I think they even did that in the Oracle games. I like that boss.
I thought it was just really hard to hit it.
Then there's the butterfly, the disappearing cape dudes. You could just utilize the cape and get them.
The boss with the hook shot was easy peasy.
Which one was that?
Where it's like a weird eye and it has these kind of yellow clouds around it.
Oh yeah,
And you have to pull them off.
I liked that one.
Yeah, it was inventive.
Yeah, I do have to say though that I really enjoy of all of the overworlds. I really enjoy the Link to the Past overworld, which is why going back to Link Between Worlds was so much fun because it is an iconic overworld. I knew it like the back of my hand as soon as I went back. I'm like, oh, this is where I can jump over here. This is where if I do this, I'll go over here. And I just knew my way around.
Which is nice
All
because
those calls
sometimes
to the Nintendo helpline paid off.
Well, that's because I struggled with invisible bushes. I like
That's
my
what
things
she
nice
said.
and trimmed. Yeah.
Hey, you make a vagina joke.
Continue, Jess. You were saying something.
I said that's what she said.
Oh, so it wasn't very intelligent.
No.
Did you guys
met
notice that there were some specific sounds that carried over from Super Mario World?
Like what?
So I can't think of it off the top of my head. It was
Maybe
the only time I can. I should have, but you guys make fun of me for taking notes, so I'm trying to do this without it, so I can just be part
because
of the
you
group.
wrinkled your paper.
Like this. Oh shit, that's a bill. I need that. Whoa.
That's what you did. According to my notes.
You know what my favorite part about that was? Is that it was a robotic paper crinkling.
No.
Your internet just dropped its pants like Dan.
No.
Oh, sweet irony.
No, there are a lot of sound effects that I picked up on, or like, oh, I've heard that in Super Mario World. What was it? You know, I think it's when Mario dies. No, I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But there are certain sound effects that I've heard in Super Mario World, like during the final boss battle or something, from Mario when he's fighting Bowser, which makes sense. They just carry that shit over.
Very descriptive.
Yeah, fair enough.
You like that?
Yeah. That was very clear.
Well, I'm going to do a quick goggle search here and see, because I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm not going to do that right now. So how far did you actually make it this time, Jess?
Dark
I got to the
Palace.
castle and picked up my sword, and then I stopped playing.
Well, I got Zelda.
That's as far as you made it?
Oh. I went to Dark... I had just started or finished Dark Palace.
Oh, okay. So further than Dan.
From the last time
Oh,
we
no.
talked, I hadn't...
No,
finished
Dan is at
Palace.
Skull Woods.
Oh, I don't think Tom played any of it.
It's a strong chance Tom's dead, so...
Let's all have a moment of silence for Yam. Okay,
That's
long.
enough.
I was going to say, I feel like we should have a solemn pip or something.
Pip, pip.
Oh,
Pip,
Pip, Pip.
I imagine that's what a British funeral is. Everybody just comes in, pip, pip, tip of the hat, stiff upper lip, see you later. Time for tea.
Fetch the biscuits.
So the general consensus is Link to the Past not as good as people remember?
No, I liked it.
I think we should just say it's awesome so we don't get bad feedback.
No, we have it on record. That's just going to be the whole show. I'm just going to publish Dan saying Link to the Past is shit. Link to the Past is shit for an hour and a half.
Shite, dearest.
Oh, which is actually worse than shit.
Yes, it is.
Ooh.
Pip,
And
pip.
we've played a lot of shitty games.
No, I wouldn't go as far as shite. It's just frustrating.
Oh, dude, it is on record as shite. I'm not editing that out.
Fair enough.
I'm actually going to increase the volume and slow it down.
I can take it.
You sure?
That would be the... Sure.
Take it
I
like
can't
one
do
of
slow
Jess's
motion.
curling irons.
Ah, yeah.
Link to the Past is shite.
What?
Huh?
Red?
What?
Red?
Edna?
She's still around.
Edna?
Yeah.
No, she's dead.
All right.
Edna.
Dead now.
No.
No.
So bad. So bad. Bird putting on the telly on the terrible joke chart.
No, that's the penis chart. Not that one bitch either. Anything else we want to talk about Link to the Past? I feel like we didn't really do it justice, but nobody played it.
Get it.
It's been a weird few weeks with scheduling.
It has.
Yeah, to be fair.
I think it was Dan's fault.
I think it was your fault, Miss. I'm just never going to be on the show anymore.
I was
Yeah,
going
this
to
is
last...
Jess's last appearance. Enjoy it while it lasts, everyone.
Yeah.
You know what's great is that we'll put a message out and say, hey, let's plan a time for the show. And then Dan and I will respond. And then Jess will respond 20 minutes before the show. I'm coming.
What?
We usually days in advance where we're going to be on. And then Tom and Jess are just ignore all messages.
It's in my calendar, so obviously it's going to happen.
She does have
What
a point.
calendar?
Dearest, do you need
We
me to
don't-
message
we don't
you every
use-
5 minutes?
Yes, please.
Well, we like seeing your thoughts on things.
You usually make fun of them, which is why I think you do like hearing my thoughts.
Yeah.
This is what we do.
So what's on the docket
Friend.
for next week?
Vice City.
That's going to be a game I can guarantee you we're not going to make it through.
I think it's a 2-weeker.
Well,
Then
it's going
that
to
takes
have
us
to be.
Halloween, though.
Yeah, but
We'll
we
have
can
to split them
it.
apart.
Oh.
Dude, just the main story of Vice City is like 20 hours.
Yeah, that's why it's awesome.
I don't have that kind of time.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
This has been on the docket for months. We're playing it.
Oh.
Dan has spoken.
I'm not going to buy the PS4 version. I'm just going to play the original on PS2. And we actually have a copy of Vice City to give away. A physical copy.
What?
Yeah. I have one.
Yeah.
When I bought Driver 3, back in the driver's seat. I picked up a copy for like $2. I don't think it has an instruction manual. The disc might not work.
I have actually bought the PS4 version.
I kind of want to just to be able to play it on PS4, but I don't think I'm going to.
Gotta get those trophies, sir.
I think in Dark Cloud 2, I picked up like 5 trophies the entire game.
I think I did too, to be honest.
Oh, that's what I was going to talk to you about. In regard to Silent Hill 2, I was sending out some pictures of how freaking dark that game was.
Yeah.
And it came down to the fact that I was still using the composite cables. And then I sent a comparison picture of when I popped in the component cables, and holy God.
The difference is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. And I just never really played much with component cables because that damn cable is like 15 feet long, 2 inches thick, and weighs 100 pounds.
Say I bought one off eBay, and it's quite just like a normal cable.
These ones are really industrial. I bought these when I worked at Best Buy, and they were like $100 cable, and I got them for a few bucks because there's such a stupid markup on them.
All right. Yeah, but if you do go back and try playing your PS2 on an HD TV, you will get very, very bad jagged edges and very dark if you're using a normal.
It was so weird because I
cable.
was walking around in that same hallway, and occasionally when he would move, the whole screen would light up, and then he'd take another step and it would go dark again. Just using basic composite, but as soon as I put component on, everything's great.
I know the difference is remarkable, really.
Even though it's still all just 480p.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other games you want to talk about for the week?
No, I think all good for games.
All good. I don't think I've been playing.
Looking forward to Vice City, though.
Have you started it yet?
Yes.
Oh, dear. I imagine that's what you do. You get home, you take your pants off, and immediately sit down in front of your TV for like 9 hours.
Yes.
Like, your pants are probably coming off as you're getting out of your car. Hell, they may even come off in your car.
I don't wear any anyway.
Good deal. Because I don't think we have any emails.
None?
None.
None? Make them up.
This one is from somebody titled Dan Sucks, and it just says, Dan, why do you hate Link to the Past?
Wow, they predicted the future.
Oh, here we have one. We have a sales one. From
SEO?
Sales005. Dear Sirs, hope everything is okay.
Hustle.
Clearly not a feminist. Glad to know you are in the market for plastic products. Just inform which port should we quote. We will give competitive price. Who is requesting plastic products from the factory sealed email?
Jess.
God, they don't make plastic curling irons.
But it would be so much easier to clean.
It won't rust.
Oh, come on.
It wouldn't rust.
Good Lord. If you want to send us an email, podcast@manatank.com. What the fuck is it? Factory sealed at manatank.com or podcast at
You
factory.
confused the two together.
Yeah, I
Jeez
have.
Louise.
Or podcast at factory-sealed.com. Both of them will get to us. Or you can ask us things on the Facebook community page, I guess. We never really checked for that.
I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. Don't lie to me.
Yes, I do.
Oh. Maybe
There's
you do.
like 12 messages.
I see.
just checked.
Dan, you changed the name of the group
I did.
to Podcast Community.
Yeah, because it is community.
Aww.
Did you guys see
It's not all
those?
about us. It's about other people.
Did you guys see those old consoles that I picked up? The Atari 7800 and the Odyssey 2?
Yes.
inbox.
I don't even know what an Odyssey 2 is.
It's like a little mini computer. It's got the keyboard and everything built right into it. But I definitely think I'm going to be selling those. I don't think I want to keep them.
So you've bought something to sell it?
I bought all of that for $25. I guarantee you I can make 5 times that much.
Well, aren't you quite the salesman?
Yeah. America, free market. Okay, so this week, look out for the competition and then start sending us your straddling pictures.
The more creative, the better.
Oh, man, I can't wait. Because we've got people that live in, like, goofy parts of the world. There's got to be fun stuff to straddle everywhere.
I would think so.
Straddle your national monument.
Straddle your friends.
Straddle yourself. Straddle a curling iron.
I'm not going there.
No, don't do that. No.
Yeah, maybe not. That would be bad.
Please don't do anything.
Daniel.
So we don't get in trouble.
Oh, yeah. Keep it clean. Ish. How are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Great. Where can we find you? On the Twitter.
Are you doing this again?
Oh, okay, I thought Tom was dead.
Is Tom back?
Yeah, God. Sounded like it with all that moaning.
Yeah, you can find me at Frosted Sloth.
Jessica, where can we find you?
I'm a Jess.
You can find me at Honest Pizza. You can find the show at Factory-Sealed or Facebook.com. Look for Factory Sealed Retro Gaming Podcast Community. All of those words.
Too many words.
Yeah. Yeah. All of those words.
Well, you wanted podcast in there. I just wanted to call Factory Sealed Retro Gaming Community, but you wouldn't let me.
Whatever. Do whatever you want. Social media manager.
I shall.
Manager.
Sneakers.
Twitter. Mr. Curtis.
Mr. Peterson.
Next week, then, provided Tom is alive and Jess actually shows up, we'll be playing some Vice City.
What?
Hopefully. Get some. Guys, that's going to do it for this week. We'll see you all next week.